After a whole lot of coffee and some cuddle time with my little fur buddy, it's time to go downstairs and start getting things ready for the day. I just make sure I do my safety checks and turn the lights on and look over and make sure everything's good to go and ready for the children to get here. I check in the bathroom, I spray a little air freshener, make sure things smell good, and get the diapers out that I'm going to need for the day and put them inside of my little diaper organizer. Also just checking that there's paper towels and soap in there. I've got this checklist. This is for my licensing for the military FCC program. Every day I do a little initial on there on the day of the week. Part of that is getting my cleaning supplies set up. If you're not making your own cleaning supplies like this, it's just pennies a day. It's super safe. It's restaurant quality, and you really have that peace of mind knowing that you're getting the best sanitation with the least amount of chemicals. I will get the baby's bed set up. She gets a new sheet every single day, just making sure that's all safe and ready to go. We have our mouth bin here for all the toys that go in the children's mouth. Once they're done with those, we just make sure to sneak them away and get them here so they can be washed. I'll get the kids' water bottles set up. It's really hot. They're drinking a lot of water. You always need to make sure water is available. I like these Contigo cups. So far, they're working pretty good. They can really take a beating. They drop these and they don't leak. Sometimes there's a little bit of a learning process with them. They have to squeeze this lever. It can be kind of hard, but in my mind, that's pretty good. Builds muscle strength. So here's my big table. This is my catch-all table I'm going to use during the day with all my activities. We'll get those set up so they're ready to go. We've got some art here that we've been working on. We'll finish this up today. I also keep some things like my sensory bin up here because I don't keep this out all of the time. I'll just kind of put it down. They're still learning how to use it and keep the materials in there. And then I also have our Play-Doh basket here. We've been playing with Play-Doh almost every single day, and morning time seems to be the time that they ask for that. I've got some bubbles here. I think after breakfast when we go outside, we'll do some bubble blowing, and my circle time basket is here. When it's time for circle time, I can grab that. And then also I have this little book I want to make sure to read today to the kids at some point in the day. And then I also have some little ducks that we can take outside with the nets. We can do some type of water activity with that. And then this is my tabletop bin. I keep some markers in there and some activity pages, just some options of things that we can work on. And then this is my tray play bucket. I kind of keep this with our theme-based tray play so that I can set these trays up quickly. We have a little fishing game. There's these wooden cutouts. They've been having fun painting those. And then also we have our stencil and some stamps. Stamps are really great for fine motor. I do like these little tiny ones. They've been having fun with these. They're great for working on that pincher grass, but they also just have fun making little stamps of different sea life on their papers. And then I have these sun catchers that they've been having fun coloring with markers. And then I also have something set up ready to go to make a sand writing tray, some letter cards, and something to use as a writing utensil like this popsicle stick. I'm also going to pull out the stuff that I need for our group art activity. Today we're going to be painting these seahorses with a tempera paint and using these little Q-tips. Link for the seahorses is going to be in the description. We'll see how this goes. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I think the kids will enjoy this. I keep our schedule up on the wall like this so that parents can see, but it's also just a really good idea to have a good set routine that you follow and do the same thing every day, especially with children of this age group. It's really good for them to just know what's coming next, and when they have a routine, there's so much less behavior issues, and we just kind of stick with the same plan every day and just kind of switch things out. This might change a little bit from season to season. Right now we have our outdoor times kind of pushed back away from the hottest times of the day, but pretty much follow the same routine every single day, and it seems to work out pretty good. So now it's 7 o'clock. About the time the kids are going to be arriving. Usually they just come in and just kind of want to get started on something and some kind of play. But lately they've been asking for Play-Doh right away. So I get my table set up in the kitchen and pull down the Play-Doh basket. There's something about Play-Doh in the morning, and morning time just seems to be the best time for us to work on fine motor skill activities. Play-Doh just seems to be a comforting thing that helps them transition from coming in and just kind of getting started. Even the littlest ones like joining in. The fine motor work that you can do with Play-Doh is so great, especially with the scissors. These are just safety scissors, but they are so perfect for working on cutting. I keep a few little tabletop fine motor activities out as well with these dry erase markers. They don't always want to do this kind of thing every single morning. Sometimes they just get in and start playing and get focused on just play in the room. But this morning in particular, I was glad I had a lot of activities to offer. We had these coloring sheets that they did. I always have coloring sheets and markers available and offer those. I don't always leave them out, but I'll offer them. Like this child, when she came in, I asked her, gave her some choices of things to do. She chose to do the stickers. So I gave her a tray. She carried that over to the table and got to work on that, really enjoying her time with the stickers. And when she was done putting the stickers on the paper, she asked for some markers, and I just gave her a handful of markers so she could continue working on the same project. Her friends noticed it looked like a lot of fun, so they asked to do it too. When they have the choice to do an activity, they're just so much more engaged and so much more focused and willing to try different things and new things. So once they were all done with this, we were able to hang up some really nice work. I keep this little clothesline kind of at their reach and accessible to them. I like it in the window. It kind of gives a nice effect to our art. And then they're really proud of what they can hang up there. Now it's time to get ready for breakfast. I've got my table all sanitized and I'm getting everything out ready to go for our meal service. We do family style dining where the children serve themselves with small utensils, pitchers of milk, and serving bowls. Today we're going to have waffles and applesauce. I follow the food program, so I just need to make sure to have one whole grain a day. This is going to be our whole grain. And the applesauce is the fruit. So breakfast is usually pretty simple: a grain, a fruit, and a milk. I'm going to throw these waffles in the toaster and get those started. I'm going to put these plates out on the table and the utensils because I think the older kids might want to come in and set the table today. Sometimes they enjoy doing that, so I'll get that ready to go for them. Kids on the food program, the ones that are over 2, they're going to get 1%. They can also get 2% or skim, but I usually just serve 1%. And the child that's under age 2 gets whole milk. So I separate hers out in this little take and toss sippy cup. These are really easy to use. I can't use inserts in my program, so those are just kind of our best option, and they're easy to drink out of. This thing I installed, it's a wireless doorbell. It took the children a few weeks to kind of understand how this was going to work, and I'd ring it and say, oh, that's the bell that tells us it's time to go wash our hands. And after a few weeks, now all I have to do is ring it, and they no questions asked, immediately stop what they're doing and run in and wash their hands. It's been actually kind of magical because I have to be honest, it was a little bit of a struggle, especially if they're really engaged in play, to get them to transition into washings. But yeah, get a wireless doorbell. I'll put the link in the description. I think it was only like $10, but it's been a really good investment. I think they're pretty hungry. They're going to eat pretty good today, and we will get started on that. I also need to get the infant's food ready to go. She has a little bowl here and some oatmeal and applesauce. She can sit right along with us, and she has a little chair that just straps to the table, and she watches and gets her breakfast right along with everybody else. I'm going to bring these pitchers of milk to the table. When those are down, I just make sure that I'm right there with the milk supervising. When you do family style dining with your children, you're going to sit down and have your meal right along with them. You can role model good and proper etiquette at the table, and also monitor and supervise all of the self-serving process that's happening. If you have a specific dietary need or whatever, like I don't eat meat, I don't drink milk, it's okay. I just don't put that part on my plate. But it's really a good idea to sit down with your kids and eat anyway, and not just the conversation, but providers also need to eat. And if you're skipping meals, you're going to get really weak and really hungry. So here's my plate. I'm going to give myself my oat milk, and I'm going to sit here with my waffle and my applesauce, and I think this looks pretty good. I'm going to have a nice breakfast right here along with the kids. So today, I just decided to do our story time at the breakfast table. The kids seem to be taking their time, and they're kind of mellow after playing and working so hard this morning. So we're going to read our little book here at the table. My story times are not super formal. I just kind of read and understand what the kids are doing, what their energy level is. Sometimes it's just on the floor with one child at a time. So now it's time to clean up. We're going to get all of our dishes in this bin and take it to the sink. Get the children involved with that. They can put their own plate in, or they can help put their friends' plates in. And once that's all loaded up and ready to go, I'm going to rinse those off and get them straight into the dishwasher. Just make sure, first thing, that's another good idea, make sure your dishwasher is empty so that you can get all of these things put away pretty quickly. And now that our table's wiped off and we've cleaned up and washed our hands, we're ready to go outside and get our outside time in. It's been really hot, and I think that this is our best time of day to just go out early before it really starts heating up. It's been close to 100 degrees on some of these days, and it can get quite dangerous outside in that type of heat. Plus, our humidity is pretty high. I keep this umbrella up, that helps, but in the morning we don't get too much shade from the umbrella. I'm going to bring out the bubbles. Everybody's pretty excited about that. The older ones know just how to use these, and we just make sure they understand the rules with the lids and where they put the bubbles when they're done. And the little ones are going to watch and learn from the bigger ones of how to blow these bubbles. You might notice that bubbles also are a great fine motor activity. They're using that pincher grasp and growing a lot of hand strength and coordination while dipping the bubbles and blowing it. We just got this parachute, and the kids have been having so much fun playing with this. We use the parachute almost every time we go outside now, and they just have thought of so many fun ways to use the parachute. So I'm really glad that I picked this up. It's been a great thing to have. A lot of times, not all of our activities when we go outside are planned or organized. Often they do just like to kind of go into free play and, play together as a group, but it's pretty hot. It's time to go back inside and cool off. Probably had to cut our playtime a little bit short today because it warmed up so quick. So the kids are going to come in, they're going to get a drink of water and cool off. Looks like we've got some magnetiles out, and some other friends decided that getting some books out was a good idea, and so the other ones followed suit. So kind of nice. We've got a lot of different options to have when they come in and out, and the baby's going to get a nice bag of ice water with ice in there. I put a little bit of blue food coloring, and this is a perfect way for her to cool off after being outside. And she just loves this type of sensory play. Sometimes I put paint inside of these or different textures, and often I'll tape it to her tray and she can just play with this while we do our group art act. But today I just thought some ice water would be a really good thing for her because she felt pretty warm, and I just want to make sure that her temperature stays good as well in this heat. But as you can see, she's having a lot of fun, and a multi-age group setting, we just really need to make sure that everybody, especially babies, get all their sensory play in. I'm going to pull out our art that we will be using today. We've got our Q-tips and our paint, and I'm going to just put these little palettes that I got at the dollar store on the trays and with their Q-tip, and when they come in, it's just ready to go and they can sit down and get straight to work. They did a pretty good job on this. I was really impressed of the amount of time that they spent filling in their seahorses. They mixed the colors and saw what neat colors they were able to make. And really, I think we got some masterpieces out of this. And they were really proud, and parents were super impressed when they picked their kids up and they've got these gorgeous mosaic-looking seahorses to take home. Cleanup is easy. Just stack up these trays when the kids are done. The other things go in the sink to get rinsed out, and then they can dry on these trays. These trays are from IKEA. They're just, I think, $1. They're super cheap, but nice to have, and they also fit in the dishwasher when you're done. So these got to go up in our window once they were dry, and they just look awesome. I was really proud of the kids and definitely be doing this again. Really love those Q-tips and the effect that it gave with painting, and what a great process art as well as a perfect fine motor activity. So since our outside time got cut short because it's so hot outside, we're going to do some music and movement inside before lunch just to make sure that they have burnt off all that energy and that they're going to be hungry and eat good and then have a nice nap time. I've got these stepping stones, and we have our little slide here that's probably more meant for the babies, but the big kids like it too. And I've turned some music on so that they can go and just get all of their wiggles out and have fun playing in the room. We don't do circle time every day. When we do circle time, it's either going to be right after breakfast or that time after breakfast or right before our group activity. But summertime, it just, we spend a lot of time outside, so we're probably not doing circle time as often as we do in the winter time, but we always make sure to get some type of music and movement in for the day. So while the kids are having fun and they're engaged and still getting their wiggles out with the music going, I'm going to go ahead and get our lunch started. Today we're going to have these steamed broccoli with some pasta and some chicken. I like to use all of these like ready to go microwavable dishes, so I'm not using my oven, and because I have the infants, it's just quick, and I'm not really prepping a whole lot of meals for the childcare, and I just need it to be easy. These are tasty, they're healthy, the kids like them, and then we're also going to just have some canned pineapple. Because I go from the food program, my menu is just all made for me. I really don't even have to think about it, but it's pretty basic and stuff that's easy to prepare and put together. Our table's cleaned. I already have some of the youngest ones in here with me ready to eat. They're pretty eager because they're hungry. They're my best eaters, and I might just start passing some little food out to them. And now it's time to ring my bell for the hand washing. Then I'll have everything ready to go in the bowls to be served with the serving spoons. I like to have just a little bit of the spray butter. It adds some flavor, and it makes it more interesting. The kids like seeing you spray that on it. It makes them more likely to want to try the veggies. But they really like this pasta. They like broccoli. They're going to have a good lunch today. This is all stuff that they really like. Now that we're done with lunch, it's probably about 11:30, 11:45 at this point. I've got about 15 minutes to get all of this cleaned up before we start our rest time transition. I'm going to get all these dishes in the dishwasher and turn that on. I like just having all of this done and out of the way, and I can move on to the next step. The room gets pretty messy at this point because I've been in the kitchen working. The kids, for the most part, they do clean up, but of course there's going to be things that I need to pick up in order to bring the cots out. And I'm going to get this room all straightened up and bring the cots. Now that they're all set up, I'll bring the kids in. They're going to do some hand washing. We're going to get our diapers changed. I'll start turning off the lights and getting our white noise on and get our music on. So in the children's mind, they know what's happening, and this is kind of their cue that rest time is here. After they've done their potty, they can come in and sometimes they'll start trying to play with something or have a quiet activity, but they know at rest time it's time for them. When they see these cots, they're pretty tired, they're ready for a nap, but sometimes they don't want to give up playing. If I have the option for them to go pick a book and take it to their cot and rest, this is just a really good transition tool, and they understand that they have at least a choice in something rather than just, having to drop everything they're doing and go lay on a cot. That really doesn't give them a choice. But if they get to choose a book, it really helps with this process. After a little while and after everybody getting settled and they're done with their book, they'll just lay down, and some of our friends have a little bit of a harder time going to sleep. I might sit next to them and rub their back. This part of it can be challenging, but it just takes a lot of patience. So now it's kind of my one and only break of the day. I'm going to make myself a little iced latte. In the wintertime, I might fill my mug up in the morning, so I have a hot coffee in the afternoon. Just kind of need this little pick-me-up. It's a long day, 12 hours on my feet, and the coffee really helps me get through it. I'm going to add a little cream in here and have just a delicious iced latte and enjoy this while I put my feet up and have a little break and probably do some paperwork or just nothing. So after rest time, the kids will start to wake up maybe after about 2 o'clock, and it's time for snack. Some of the kids that took a little longer to fall asleep, they might be still sleeping, but I will turn on the lights, I open up the windows, but I don't wake them up. They'll just kind of naturally wake up on their own. And so snack today was some graham crackers and some blueberries, and I'll get all of this cleaned up. And after we've done this and cleaned up our cots and changed diapers and all those transition things, the potty break, and then we're gonna head on outside and have some outside time. So in the afternoon, the kids, they seem to be moving at just like a little bit of a slower pace. They like to do things like the more sensory or play in the sand table, maybe drawing with some chalk outside, or just sitting and chilling in the lawn chair. They do enjoy doing that. It just seems to be a time where it's more of a just kind of doing things like this that are less active. And then when we go inside and we get ready for the parents to start picking up, they often choose things like blocks. And then I also keep available the coloring pages as well as a few tray plays and doing simple activities like this. Well, I hope you enjoyed this little look at our day in daycare. Make sure to subscribe so you don't miss another video.